This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up? What's up? Back again, MMAniacs podcast. I'm joined as always by Ken. Oh, you don't have bare knuckle Ken up today. It's the bearded Packer thing.
I'm gonna say, give me a second, I'll fix it. I do so many freaking shows, I can barely freaking keep my fucking name straight.
Yeah, it's all good, buddy. You know, it's your alter ego, the bearded Packer fan. Yeah, dude. So we took Monday off for Memorial Day from training. So today was our first day back since Friday, and oh man, today was big boy guard passing, dude. Like, and we had this new choke that we learned from like side control, but it's a big boy choke because you take an underhook, but with your right. So let's say I got you in side control.
Mm-hmm. You
take an underhook on the right arm with your, and you pull on the back of the collar.
Which side of the body are you on in side control, right or left?
So if you're on your back and I'm on your right side, okay, right? So then I reach under and I grab your collar to keep you to the mat. And then with my left arm, I basically connect the blade of my forearm to the left side of your neck and then grab a hold of the collar. And then you post up to where you take your knees off the mat. So it's just all your weight. And you simultaneously pull the back collar grip, and then you push on the front collar grip. So, it's like a scissor motion. But imagine like 280 pounds on top of a forearm on top of your throat, like, yeah, dude, it's nasty, dude.
I was gonna say that don't even sound like something you want even somebody trying on you, let alone actually doing it in a real match or to that effect.
Or a fight, yeah. Because in a fight, like, you're not gonna. Me and my training partner, we do the technique, and but it's like we're not trying to hurt each other, Like if you're in an actual fight, you're trying to hurt the dude. Like it's gonna be so much worse. And I can already tell you, like just doing the technique, it sucks, dude. Like. I was training with that Mizzou wrestler today, and he's 250 pounds and he's got really good top pressure. So, like, you're just like, like, and he's not trying to hurt me, dude. Like, if he was actually trying to hurt me, like, yeah, it would suck, dude. But it was dope, We're doing guard passing this month, and then month is almost over, so June 1st we'll start a new thing. That's kind of how we do things in our class. We'll do a month of like we're going to work on guard passing, or we're going to do guard retention this month, or we're going to do side control. Like we do a whole month, and the professor will go through like all the different techniques, all the different positions, stuff like that, escapes. So I like it because it's like you go through different positions. You spend a whole month dealing with like one position, or sometimes a couple positions, but you really get a feel for all there is in that one position. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff, like just for side control, for example. I mean, there's so many, like, there's escapes, there's submissions, there's ways to, passes, like the pass from side control to mount or take the back. There's lots of that. So it's, I enjoy the way we do it. And plus, if you miss something, it's like, we'll get back to it eventually, like you'll take a year or 6 months, but we'll get back to it eventually, and you'll get another chance at it, So I like the way that he runs it. But yeah, dude, we're getting close. Saturday it'll be 1 week from 316, and we were talking about that card last week. What fight on that card are you most looking forward to?
Give me half a second to actually look at the card. Man, to me, I almost want to really see that Kayla Harrison fight, but I also want to see, is Sean O'Malley gotten better at his wrestling after getting, his I don't know how I want to phrase it. Well, either way, after getting his ass whooped so much by it, that's not the phrasing I was going to go for, but with how Marab fucking worked him on the ground. Because I've heard bits and pieces that they've been actually working on it a lot in his camp. He didn't go out to any like special camp to learn wrestling, like he didn't go to Dagestan or anything like that. But what did come out that I saw is that he supposedly had some type of hip injury in the last fight, and that had massively limited his wrestling ability.
Stupid internet. It always cuts out. Anyway, but you were saying, so it's between O'Malley and Marab or Kayla and Juliana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Although for me, the O'Malley Marab fight is, I kind of feel like we're going to see more of the same. I don't think that Marab is, I mean, here's the thing. Like, Marab is a bit, he's an absolute animal with it when it comes to the cardio, and he'll spam takedowns. But the real question is, can O'Malley land the sniper shot that he couldn't land last time? Like, O'Malley always has a puncher's chance.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I want to see if he trained his wrestling, what I want to see more is if he trained his footwork and is able to keep his back off the cage so that he doesn't get taken down in the first place. Like, if he can force Marab to stand up. Because Marab's been clipped a few times, dude. And he manages to survive. But I don't think with O'Malley's power, I don't think, if he gets clipped. And O'Malley has a really good killer instinct. Like, once he gets you hurt, he's a really good finisher. So it'll be interesting to see how that part of it goes. But I'm looking forward to Juliana and Kayla, because I don't know, man. Like, if we're gonna do fight picks, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna pick Juliana to shock the world, dude.
That's quite an interesting take, because I think she's just gonna get manhandled throughout that fight.
There's a decent chance of that, dude. Like, that's why I said I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ride with Juliana to shock the world, because Juliana's a dog, dude. Like, she can take a beating, and I've never seen Kayla put a beating on a girl like Amanda Nunes put on Kayla, or on Juliana the last time they fought, and she couldn't finish her. And Amanda's a finisher, dude. Amanda's a killer, dude. So I don't know. Like, it could end up being a boring fight where Kayla takes her down and just, basically mollywops her for 5 rounds. But I just feel like Juliana is going to out-grit her, Like, it'll be ugly for the first 3 rounds. I think, Juliana's going to get her ass beat. Don't get me wrong. And, I'm not saying it's going to be like, flawless victory or anything. Like, she's going to have to earn it. But I think that as the fight gets later, that Kayla will start to tire out, and she'll be more susceptible to Juliana's boxing, which Juliana doesn't have power, but she does have good technical boxing. She's got a very strong jab. So I think that she'll start to kind of put it on her. And, I don't know, man. Juliana's going to have to win 3 rounds. And that's the thing. Is like,
what I was just about to say. If she's waiting on that, that might be a case of too little, too late.
But remember what happened in the first fight. with Amanda. If it wasn't a fix, like
Yeah.
Juliana, she put the jab on her, and she tired her out, and Juliana finished her. She took her back and choked her. So could she do that to Kayla? Possibly. I mean,
I was going to say theoretically, absolutely.
so you know what they say, man. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. So like that's the thing, is like we don't know what Kayla's gas tank is like. Can she go 5 hard rounds? Because I think she's going to have to.
Yeah, and I was going to say, how many times have we seen in boxing that somebody going against a much stronger opponent just staying on that bicycle with the jab and completely gas them out, and I mean relatively quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's the thing, is like
it's not like this is some absurd take from you.
like the stand-up game is so much more tired. I mean, it's tiring, dude. Like, especially for someone like Kayla, who, her whole thing is she has the ground cardio and grappling cardio. Like, I don't want to say stand-up cardio is harder, because it's all hard. But I just feel like if Kayla has to walk her down for 5 rounds, like, if you know what I mean, if Juliana can use her technical footwork and stay on her feet and just pepper her with the jab, like, I think that eventually Kayla's going to get tired out of having to chase her around and getting tagged, and once your cardio is spent, it becomes a whole different fight. Like, Kayla has that massive strength advantage for the first couple rounds, but eventually I think that that's going to go away. And the other thing is after you're tired, even if you're on top, your technique gets sloppy. And Juliana, we know she can go 5 hard rounds. We've seen it, like, she got dog walked, but she didn't get finished. And so I do think, and she probably should have. I mean, honestly, dude, the way Amanda dog walked her, I probably would have just went ahead and been like, in the 3rd round, like, let's go ahead and stop this, dude. Like, this isn't getting better for me. But Juliana's not that. She's not that. She's a dog. She doesn't ever, and this is why this is why I'm picking her, is because I think her mental fortitude, her mental toughness makes her believe that she's always in the fight. Like, no matter how far on the scorecards Kayla gets ahead, Juliana is still going to feel like she can win and that she's still in the fight. And that can pay dividends at times, We'll see. I mean, talking about, let's break it down. So what does a win for Kayla Harrison do for her resume, for her career, in your opinion?
I would say it kind of legitimizes. I know that's not the correct pronunciation, but what the fuck ever. Her all the hype that's surrounding her, because you see a lot of the fans really in love with her, and I think a lot of that has to do with her look. Granted, she's no slouch of a fighter, but it's just more of the amazement that, oh my God, you're that fucking huge. And if she can go out and beat Pena there, I almost called her Nunes. That, like you said, she's absolutely no slouch, and she's been in a lot of big fights. So that's a hell of a scalp to hang on the wall.
Okay. See, I don't think that Juliana is a great scalp. Like, really? I the reason I say that is because everybody is expecting Kayla to win. You look at the odds, like, everybody's expecting. It's like Brock Lesnar wrestling Rey Mysterio, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's like nobody's giving Rey a chance, dude. You know what I mean? Nobody. And nobody's giving Juliana a chance. And so it's like everybody expects Kayla to win. So if she wins, it's kind of like, well, we all saw that coming, On the other hand, nobody in the world is giving Juliana a chance except me. So it's like, I just think if Kayla wins, she's not going to get the credit that she maybe deserves. because people, I think that as much as people hype Kayla up, people also kind of downplay Juliana. Like, she barely beat Pennington. It was a split decision. It could have gone either way. But Pennington's tough. Raquel Pennington is a tough fighter. I mean, she's not the most technically gifted, but she's a dog, And so I just feel like people are kind of downplaying Juliana, and Juliana is more talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Juliana is like even one of the top women's MMA fighters. Like, in my opinion, I think that first Amanda fight was fixed. And if it wasn't, she caught her not training, and she pulled off the Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva, like the once in a blue moon upset that happens. And her resume has been, kind of inflated because of that. But she is a tough fighter. Like, Juliana is tough. And so I think it actually does a huge amount more for Juliana's resume if she beats Kayla than it does for Kayla if she beats Juliana. Like, because think about this. What's the next fight? If Kayla beats Juliana, everybody knows what the next fight is, right?
Which one are you talking about setting it up? Isn't it?
It's Amanda.
Okay. See, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the fight. That's why they're allowing Juliana to walk into the slaughterhouse, is because they're trying to build this Kayla versus Amanda super fight, and so everybody's expecting this Kayla versus Amanda super fight, right? And the odds are they're going to get it. I mean, Vegas odds are what they are for a reason, right? Like, these guys do it for a living. They know what they're talking about. But every once in a while, you get this upset where the house makes, an incredible amount of money, or some smart bettor makes a lot of money because they took the underdog, and it's like there was people, there wasn't a lot of them, but there was a few people who bet on Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson at 42-1 odds. You know what I mean? And they put $1,000 down, or they put, there was a couple smart bettors that put 10 grand down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they walked away with $500,000. Like, so it's. I think that this is one of those scenarios. I think that the odds are so wide that they're unrealistically wide, especially for a title fight. And so, in my opinion, if you have $50 that you don't mind losing, drop it on Juliana, and you can thank me later.
I was gonna say, it really sounds like you might have made that bet yourself.
I didn't, because I don't gamble. Like, I don't bet, but I see action here for this fight. I see an opportunity. The odds, in my opinion, are incredibly lopsided. In fact, I think that even the Vegas books are downplaying and underestimating Juliana quite a bit. And I think a more realistic money line would be like Kayla minus 250, Juliana plus 250, but instead they have Kayla minus 625 and, Juliana plus 450. Like that, it's just too wide, in my opinion. And the opportunity is there for some money to be made for somebody who's willing to take a $50 risk or $100 risk. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I do think that they're downplaying Juliana a bit, and we'll find out. I mean, I could come back 2 weeks from now and be like, well, Kayla mopped her,
Well, Nick, if you want to hop on here, I'll send you out the link. Just let me know.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome on.
Yeah, you'd actually be our. Well, no, we had Nick on once, other Nick on it once or twice, and we had Dom on. So you wouldn't be our first guest, but you'd be our first guest in a while.
You'd be the first guest we've pulled from the comments.
Yeah, and from the comments. That's right. So yeah,
All right,
it's
I'm
going to be
sending it out,
interesting.
Nick.
All right, let's see what Nick's talking about.
I
So
was gonna say if his MMA takes are anywhere near his football takes, we're in for a treat.
oh, good. Yeah, we can get his takes on the upcoming card. See what he thinks about the Marab and Sean fight and the Juliana and Kayla fight. Like, get an outside perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know I already said it, but I really want to see if that freaking hip injury really plays a role in how well O'Malley's going to be able to wrestle. What's up there,
Mm-hmm.
Nick?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing
Good. How you
pretty
doing,
good.
man?
Glad to have you here.
All good, all good. In regards to the O'Malley Marab rematch, I think this is career defining for O'Malley. I think he needs this win really badly because I feel like if he loses this fight, it's going to be a huge stain on his because Dane has been building him up slowly. So it worked for a little, like the hype was up for a little, and then Marab came and just dominated him. And I'm not gonna lie, I was going back to the Contender Series. I loved O'Malley's fighting style. I have a boxing background myself. He's more of a boxer, the kickboxer type. I have a soccer background, so when I picked up MMA, I threw some wicked leg kicks. So I really like O'Malley's style. I think this is make or break for him. Honestly, I want him to win. I don't know if he's gonna win. He really needs to come super focused. Um, he let Marab close the distance on him. He got too close to Marab. He's a lot taller and a lot longer. You shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
letting Marab close the distance on you. You should be utilizing your jab, utilizing your length, and don't let him get close to you. Stay in the middle of that ring. Don't back up. Don't get close to the cage. That's where Marab's gonna want him.
Yeah,
Um.
but also Marab has shown that he's not afraid to spam takedowns in
Oh
the
yeah.
center of the octagon either.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. He's a
but I
manimal,
agree with
bro.
you.
Them Russians are no joke, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I think Sean's best path to victory is to try to keep it in the middle of the octagon, force Marab to shoot on you in the middle of the octagon because those takedowns are harder to land than when he gets you up against the cage. That should be Sean should have spent this entire last year that Marab's been champion training to keep his back off the cage and stay in the middle of the octagon. And I agree with you about he should use his length. I think an underutilized part of his game that we didn't really see him use too much in the first Marab fight was leg kicks. I would like to see him start using more leg kicks and also side kicks, like push kicks and side kicks to keep Marab at striking distance and not allow him to close the distance, like you said.
Yeah,
Um,
don't you worry that with a fighter Marab's caliber that he's going to catch one of those push type of kicks.
um, it's harder to catch a push kick than a side kick would be easier to catch than a straight front kick, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because a straight front kick is thrown with a lot of force, and it's not meant to kick him in the face. It's meant to kick him in the chest and push him backwards, to keep him at that kicking range. But I mean, Marab's an animal. If he can catch a kick. It's not. There is no risk-free path to victory for O'Malley here. Like, he's gonna have to take some risks, and in my opinion, his whole path to victory revolves around staying on his feet long enough to land a sniper shot. And Marab has been clipped before. I don't think Marab is not. I don't think he's unKOable. Like he has a chin just like anyone else, and if O'Malley dots it, he can win. What do you think about Nick's take about this being career defining for O'Malley? Do you agree?
I could absolutely see it because if O'Malley shows that he's gotten a lot better at his wrestling game, including the takedown defense, it shows him as a more well-rounded fighter to where he's generally known as more of just a pure stand-up guy. Not saying the guy can't wrestle and all that, but his absolute bread and butter is his stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And we
But do
know
you think
Marab's
that
gonna push the pace. Marab's
Yeah,
gonna keep
yeah,
that
he's gonna
pace. He's gonna
cardio. He's
push
gonna
that
try to
pace.
cardio
Yeah,
crush him. Do you
yeah.
think? But do you agree with Nick? Do you think that this is a must win for Sean? Because
I don't
I
know if
get
it's
where he's coming
necessarily a
from.
must win, but I think if he does win, it's going to propel him a decent amount more.
Oh yeah, he'll be a bona fide. I mean, he's already kind of a superstar. But if he manages to make the adjustments to beat Marab, like you said, the whole MMA world is gonna start to view him as more of a well-rounded fighter, and he's gonna be that much more of a threat. I just don't know if this is make or break for O'Malley. O'Malley is still a young guy. Like Marab is on the older side. Marab's already, I think he's past 35. You know, so Marab, he might be champion for a little while longer, but O'Malley's gonna he could make another run. He's just got to stay in that top five long enough, And there's a foil for everyone, like every champion has a guy who just has his number. I mean, you look at a beast like Yuri Prohashka, right? Like that dude would be champion in any other universe where Alex Pereira doesn't exist. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
uh,
Yuri's
Yeah.
an absolute monster, but it just so happens that Pereira has his number and he's beaten him. He's beat his ass twice already. So is Marab that guy that just has O'Malley's number? I don't know. You can't really say that based off one fight, no matter how dominating it was. But that's why I'm going to say I agree that it's career defining to an extent, but I don't think it's make or break. Like I don't think O'Malley's going to retire or he's not going to ever get another title shot if he loses to Marab, because I don't think Marab has 3 more years as champion. Like I think even his crazy cardio, I think can you look up how old is Marab right now? I think he's like 36 or 37. I think he's older than
34.
35. He's 34. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
O'Malley's 30.
yeah, so at the smaller weights, typically 35 is that cutoff line, especially like when you get to lightweight, there's guys that are 35 that still hang, but featherweight and below, typically when you get to 35, it's kind of where careers fall off a cliff,
Mhm.
generally,
My
right?
my
Go
thing
ahead,
with
Eric.
O'Malley, what I'm saying
Remy.
is make or break for him. I think at the bantamweight division, I think if he loses, he may. Me personally, I think O'Malley would be best at featherweight / lightweight. I think if
Mm.
he fought at 145, I think it might benefit him more. That's my personal opinion.
I don't disagree with you. I actually think
Yeah,
O'Malley, he's really big for bantamweight, and
yeah, bro. He's 5'11".
he
You
probably
know, it's
wouldn't
like
mind not
damn.
having to cut that weight anymore. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think he could easily go up to featherweight and have a real shot at becoming champion there. And it makes for some interesting
Mhm.
fights. At featherweight. I mean, who wouldn't want to see like Yair Rodriguez and Sean O'Malley go at it, dude?
That's a banger of a fight. What?
That's a banger of a
That's a
fight, dude.
banger. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hell
with
yeah.
it. Like I'm with it, dude. And I think 55 might be his limit. Like
Limit, yeah.
if he goes to 55, I think his height will do him well. But I don't know, like because guys that are at 55, they're cutting down from like 190, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's possible, I guess. He would have to really like go hit the weights, put on another 10 pounds of
I've been
muscle.
around, man. It's unbelievable to see the process of some of these fighters, what they do to cut weight, and it's honestly unbelievable. I had a buddy who's he's pretty good at boxing. He's actually ranked right now. He's from Stamford, Connecticut. Cordell Booker. I've spoke to him a few times in the past. He's like, "Yo, you like what fighters have to go through to cut weight in certain situations, like you're saying, bro. There's some bigger guys who cut even more weight. There are guys who got to cut 25 pounds to fight, bro. That's insane, man. Like it's
Hmm.
absurd what these fighters go through, and it's for the entertainment for us, for our fans. That's why I love the fight game, bro. The sacrifice they put in, what they do for our entertainment is just spectacular. Like
I agree.
a lot of people don't realize. And
I
I
think
and I
there
know
should
you
be some
too, and I know you
regulation.
too do realize, but the general public don't realize like what these fighters go through to make weight. It's
No, they
insane.
literally put their lives on the line when they're cutting it, when they're in that
Seriously.
sauna, 24,
Yeah.
3 hours before weigh-ins, they're in that sauna, like their kidneys are shutting down. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
bro. Like,
these guys literally put their
ugh,
lives on the line to get on that scale half dead just so they can go and rehydrate and try to put on a performance the next night. But the thing, I think there should be some regulations with weight cutting. I'm not against cutting weight to fight at a lower class, but I think there should be some restrictions as to how much weight exactly you should cut. You're able to cut. I think if you're cutting more than 10% of your walk around weight, I think that's too much. I would make like
yeah, bro.
10%.
Oh, yeah,
So if
absolutely.
if you're 225, you can cut 22 and a half pounds, and you can go down like, but you're still going to end up, so if you're 225, you can cut, you basically fight at 205, right?
You could fight
Like,
at lightweight, yeah,
um,
light
you
heavyweight.
can, yeah, you can fight at light heavyweight, but I don't want a guy who's cutting down
Two
from,
fifty,
I mean,
bro.
look at
Yeah,
Pajeda. Pajeda's cutting
yeah.
down from 230 to 185.
That's
Good
Like, that's
lord.
absurd.
insane, dude.
Yeah, it's
At that
absurd.
point, your whole training camp is about cutting weight. It's not even about really training. It's cutting weight
Yeah, for sure.
because you're
I'm
cutting
so eager. I
45
can't wait for
pounds.
this Poirier Max Holloway fight, man. Oh, that's gonna be
Yeah, let's get
awesome.
let's get your take on that one. So Poirier, they're saying it's his last fight, but there's been some interesting developments recently, and I honestly, if Poirier wins, I don't think it's his last fight. So
I don't
let
think
me
so
give you
either.
my let me tell you where I'm going with this, and then you tell me what you think about it. So Poirier versus Max is an absolute banger fight, right? Like, especially at 55, because I think Max, when he the last time he fought Poirier, he went up to 55. He was kind of a doughy 55, but now he's like a legit 55. And so I think it's going to be a good fight. If Poirier wins, Topuria just moved up. Islam just gave up the belt. So you have Topuria and Charles for the lightweight belt. If Topuria wins that title, which I think it's a good chance that he does. Do you still think Poirier retires? Because personally, I think a Poirier, especially coming off, Max is ranked number 4 right now. Coming off a Max win, I think giving Dustin one last title shot against Topuria makes not just financial sense, but competitive sense as well. Like, I don't think it's a robbery to give Dustin a title shot. He's a top 5 contender coming off a win over another top 5 contender.
I agree. I agree. I'm a huge Dustin fan. I think he's been one of the most underrated. Like, even he is great. I feel like in a sense he is a bit underrated. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that fight with Elia. Man, Elia hits like a truck for his size, man. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. He hits like a Mack truck. Like, you feel it when he hits you. Like, the fact that he walloped Max the way he did, I've never seen Max get beat up that way, man. And that just shows how much of a problem he is with his hands, because
Yeah,
it
he
takes a lot to
basically he
outbox
basically
Max.
Gaethje he basically Gaethje'd Max how Max Gaethje.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you
Yeah,
remember
in a
how
sense.
Max dropped Gaethje? Like,
Yeah,
Ilya
last
did
10
him the
seconds.
same
Come over
way.
here, Rev. Come to the middle, bro. Meet me right
Yeah,
here. That was so
he.
sick.
But you remember in that Ilya versus Max fight, in the first, as soon as the opening bell rang, Ilya went and pointed to the center of the octagon and told Max, "Come on." And Max said, "Nah." And he's like, "No, I'll play my circle game." Max isn't stupid. Like, he's not going to sit there and he's not going to give that opportunity to Ilya, and he still lost. So that's my thing is, but Dustin can punch too, man. Like,
Oh,
Dustin
yeah.
has multiple
Well-rounded
high
game.
level knockouts and a
Yeah.
well rounded game, but he's
Yep.
got punch power, dude. Look at what he did to Benoit Saint Denis. Like, he KO'd him with a left hook. I mean, he's knocked out a who's who. He knocked out
He
McGregor.
he
Like,
had Khabib. He had Khabib on the ropes, man. He had him in a guillotine. He let Khabib out. He could have choked Khabib out if he locked that in. I think it was the second or third round. Khabib had it was like halfway in, but if he locked it in, because I remember watching it on the Joe Rogan podcast, they were going over it, and Rogan even told him, and I didn't notice it until Joe Rogan pointed it out. Shout out Joe Rogan. He was like, "Dude, if you lock this in, Khabib might have not even gotten out. I think it might have been the third round." But yeah, that was the one time where I really saw Khabib like under the back against the wall.
yeah, I don't think Khabib taps. He might go to
Yeah,
sleep, but I
he
don't
goes
think
to
Khabib's
sleep.
tapping
Yeah, he
out.
wouldn't tap
Yeah, I
out.
don't think he's tapping out. Khabib
Yeah.
Khabib is one of those guys that I can't imagine him
He'll
actually
black out before he
tapping out.
taps out. Yeah, he'll black out
Yeah, he'll
before
go
he
to
taps
sleep.
out.
Because tapping out to him, especially after how he did McGregor, how he clowned McGregor about tapping like a chicken, like I think Khabib is like, nah, like I'm
Yeah.
not tapping. You can break my arm, like I'm not tapping. I think
Yeah.
it's like he considers it shameful, and maybe Islam is the same way. I don't know, but um, so you think that fight makes sense, right? Like,
Absolutely.
can you see
Absolutely.
Poirier sticking around, especially if they tell him like, look, we're gonna do the Ilya Charles fight. If you beat Max, you got the next. If Ilya wins, you got the next title shot. Because I don't know if Dustin sticks around for a rematch against Charles. I mean,
No,
maybe he will, but
I don't think. I think for a title shot, it makes the most logical sense. I think what you said agrees. Like if he beats Max and Elia wins, and Dana and the squad go to him and is like, "Hey, we're thinking. I know you said you wanted to retire, but we're really thinking you might be worthy enough for this title shot." Maybe Dustin's like, "Hey, why not?"
I 100% believe he will. He
Yeah.
will not retire if they're offering him a title shot against Ilya, who I believe Dustin believes he can beat. Like he might know against Charles. It's like, okay, Charles's jiu-jitsu game is just ridiculous,
Insane, absurd.
absurd. Like,
Yeah.
so I think Dustin understands that he's probably not beating Charles. Although I think in a rematch, I would give Dustin better odds. Like he got caught slipping, in that first one. Like, he got his back taken really fast, but I
Hmm.
think Dustin would try to box with Charles in the second fight. Like, I think he would try to do whatever he can to keep it standing. And I like Dustin's chances in a fist fight, like in a kickboxing match with Charles. I
With
like his
Charles, yeah,
chances.
I like his chances more too, for sure.
But the thing is, Charles is so fast at jumping on your back that it's
Mhm.
like, do you know what I mean? The second you put
Yeah,
your
he's
back against the
insanely
fence, all of a sudden
He's
he's
unorthodox.
on
like
your
he's
back
like a
and he's
damn
choking
he's like
you.
a damn monkey, bro. He's on you.
Yeah,
He's on you.
exactly. He jumps on your
Yeah.
back like a spider monkey, dude. The next thing you know, it's like you're getting choked, and you're like, "How did we even get here?" Like,
Not even
Yeah.
just on the back, how he'll pull out the guillotine at all sorts of different angles and positions.
yeah, his
Yeah.
offensive jiu-jitsu game is ridiculous, dude.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, it's the best in mixed martial arts. His offensive jiu-jitsu
Well,
game.
doesn't he hold the UFC record for the most submission victories?
I don't know. I don't
He's
know if
up
he
there. I
holds
think
the
he has
record.
like he double digits, like way
Yeah.
over double digits, if
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
look it
he's
up.
got double digits, but I don't know if he holds the record for most submissions. Um, but Charles has been around a long time too, so he's got a lot of UFC fights.
You
But
think you
I
think Tom
personally am
Aspinall?
more.
My
Let's
fault,
say that
bro.
again.
I was gonna say you think Tom Aspinall and John Jones is gonna happen.
we've
Good
we've been
question,
talking
huh?
about
Bare
that.
knuckle Ken?
Oh, we've talked about this one at length.
I'm gonna let Ken go ahead and go first because I think everybody who watches the show knows how I feel about John Jones.
Yeah, that Joe's getting ready to invite him over for supper.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I'm on record on here saying I absolutely want to see it. I think it'd be a hell of a fucking fight, but it seems like John Jones is completely ducking him and wants absolutely no part of it.
It certainly feels like it. Certainly feels like it. John's a complicated fighter. I feel like I liked him a lot in the beginning. I think he's an outstanding fighter. He's not my greatest of all time. He's up there, but I don't have him as the most. I've seen more complete fighters in my opinion.
Hmm.
And
To me, GSP is the best fighter
it
ever.
is Oliveira with the record for the most submission wins in the organizations in history at 16.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, I actually I agree with you, Nick. GSP, in my opinion, is the GOAT as well, and
Yeah.
it's not even close. Like Anderson Silva, pre-steroid Anderson Silva is close.
I was going to say if we put the blinders on and only look at Silva in his prime, I think he's the GOAT. But as an overall career, yeah, I'd agree with GSP.
I think someone pound for pound who has to be considered when obviously we're talking pound for pound. I think Mighty Mouse he's forgotten. I mean, pound for pound, that
Yeah,
man was a terror in that
that dude had
octagon.
like 12 title defenses at flyweight, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah,
He's not
that's
talked about enough.
nobody has 12 title defenses, dude. I think he
Yeah.
still holds the record for most consecutive title defenses in a division. And the UFC traded him because they couldn't make money on him. But it's not, because he was wrecking everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
that armbar that he put on Ally Akinta, like that flying armbar that he put
Yeah,
on
that
him,
was one of the sickest things I've ever seen.
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, Mighty Mouse is
That
up
was
there.
insane.
I
It was like
definitely
one
I put
fluid
him up there.
motion, bro. It was like one whole motion, and the next thing you know, he's in an armbar. Like, bro,
Yeah,
what just happened?
I definitely agree. I think he's top 5 all time pound for pound. Um, I don't actually put Khabib in the top 5 pound for pound.
I agree because
Um,
of the striking, his lack
and
of
not just
striking.
the striking, but his resume overall is a bit thin. Like, he who did he beat for the belt? It was like actually it wasn't. I don't think it was Iaquinta. I think it was Ray Borg that Demetrius Johnson put that flying armbar on. I don't think it was Iaquinta because Iaquinta fought Khabib for the belt. That's how Khabib won the belt. But if you look at Khabib's resume, it's like Connor, Gaethje, Poirier, and who else?
That's really it.
That's really it. So to me, he doesn't make top 5. Is he like one of the most feared and probably like if he had continued his career, could he have made the top 5? Absolutely. But I think he retired too soon. And I don't think his level of competition is really that great. I think Islam, I'm to the point now where I would rank Islam top 5. I think
I mean,
Islam is
Islam's
proven.
building a hell of a resume right now in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah. And if he beats Jack Della Maddalena, I think that definitely cements it, being a 2 division champion, and especially if he can defend the title at welterweight. I do think his resume or his overall status takes a bit of a hit that he didn't fight Topuria at 55. I think he should have stuck around and fought Topuria at 55 because Topuria was the boogeyman coming into the division. Like, you can say what you want about chasing greatness and how you cleaned out the division, but you didn't really clean out the division because a new killer just came into the division and you left right after he came. I don't know. And I like Islam's chances to beat Topuria. I'm not saying that it's like Topuria would just beat him. I'm just saying that the fact that he didn't stick around and fight him, I think that would have been fighting Topuria would have been the perfect capstone on Islam's lightweight career.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I
Do you
think is
disagree? Like, do you think that
no, no. In regards to Islam,
yeah, in regards to Islam?
I think Islam has the potential to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Potential, emphasizing potential. He has a more well-rounded fighting game than Habib did, in my opinion. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
more polished with the hands. He could let the hands fly, and he's just as deadly on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
ground.
I think Islam takes more risks than Habib too, and I think that there was a real. I think that Topuria is a live dog in that fight because
Yeah,
of that. Because Islam is willing to
absolutely.
leave his chin out there a little bit, whereas Habib is like, we all
He's more
know how a fight
calculated.
between
Yeah,
we all know how a fight between Habib and Topuria is going to go. Like that fight is going to the ground in the first 20 seconds, guaranteed.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
whereas Islam might actually,
Stand up and bang. Yeah.
he'll
Well,
stand up and bang
I
until he's
think
losing.
I was gonna say I think he gets hit with a couple of those taps from fucking Taporia, and that's gonna change his game plan real quick. Because when you watch Taporia fight, what stands out to me massively isn't just his skill on his feet. It's every time he connects, it makes such an audible fucking sound that it's just hard to deny the insane amount of power this guy has at his weight.
Seriously, yeah, bro. He
Yeah,
hits super
he,
hard.
he's got hammers, bro. He's got
My
hammers for
my
sure.
thing, like Joe just said with Habib, he's gonna take it to the like Habib is more calculated with his fighting. Like I saw it in the
Mhm.
Gaethje fight. Gaethje's leg kicks were bothering him, and right before Habib ended, Gaethje hit him with a really mean leg kick, and I think it stung Habib, and Habib was like, "I got to take this down and end it," and he ended up doing it. But like if he's way more calculated with his wrist, whereas like you said with Islam will. He ain't gonna back down from standing up and banging with Elia. He's gonna hold his own, and if he gets hit one time that he don't like, then he'll be like, all right, I'll take him to the ground now.
Exactly. He's gonna at least give it the chance though. Whereas Habib, he's not even going into that fight thinking about standing up with Topuria. He's like, why am
Yeah,
I gonna do that? Like I can take him down. I'm gonna take him down.
yeah,
Like I'm just gonna completely grapple fuck him and dominate him. And more power to him because if you can't stop it, don't bitch about it. You know,
yeah. Charles
like
Charles poses an interesting matchup with Elia. He can
Mhm.
give him some trouble, for
I
sure with that
agree.
jujitsu.
How do you see that fight going? Like
It's
in
so
in
weird, man, because it's like I feel like Charles. I feel like Charles is gonna. I don't think he's gonna be willing to stand up and bang with Elia. I think everyone in his corner is gonna tell him, "Yo, go for the take him down and end it quick. Don't even give him because like Ken just said, and like we've all iterated. Like, Elia hits like a truck, bro. So I don't think Charles even wants to let. And Charles don't got the greatest chin. He don't got a max chin. You know what I mean? He don't got one of these iron chins that could take a punch. Charles has been clobbered a few times and knocked down. So I think they're gonna stress to him real quick, take him down because that's your bread and butter in this fight.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
think he's going to have to stand with him for a little bit, because I think Ilya is going to make it that way. Um, Ilya's going to. I think Ilya is going to play it patient. I don't think he's going to walk Charles down because Charles has the length on him. So Charles, the leg kicks will be there for Charles if he wants to use them. I don't think Ilya is going to try to walk down Charles. I think Charles is going to have to walk down Ilya and try to get in on him, which is smart for Ilya. Let him come to you and just play the counter striker because the odds the odds are in your favor. Like you only need one shot. So,
Hmm.
if he's coming to you, the odds are better that you're going to hit that one shot. But if I'm Charles, I'm jumping on his back. Like as
Yeah,
soon as the fight starts, I'm running across the ring
I'm
and I'm just
yeah,
jumping on him.
yeah. I hear you. Hey, how about Duplessis and Hamzat?
I was gonna say,
Ooh.
hold on, before we get to that one, I think he has a very well. I won't say favorable. I think he matches up a lot better with Oliveira than a lot of other people do because you've seen a few of his fights where he's used to fighting some of these unorthodox fighters like Oliveira. There, the only difference is that instead of just being a regular black belt like Ilya is, that Oliveira is a fourth degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and as we talked about, he's one
And
hell
former world champion,
of and
multiple time world champion for Charles Oliveira. Let's not no like that matters, dude. There's level. I mean,
Hmm.
look, I know that I'm a one stripe white belt, so in the world of jiu-jitsu, I'm a nobody, right? But there's levels to this shit. And Charles is at the top level of this shit
Yeah,
when it comes to
I'm not
jiu-jitsu.
taking anything away from Oliveira there,
No, I
but
know you're not. I just want to point
yeah,
it out for the people listening. Like, there's
okay.
levels to this. Ilya he might be a black belt, but he's not a Charles level black belt. There's very few Charles level black belts in the world, dude. Like former world champion jiu-jitsu guys, like, you know, it's
The thing with Charles, like Charles has fought the top of the top at his he
Mhm.
look at his losses. I mean, he lost to Islam Pettis in 2016 when Anthony Pettis was a problem. You know what I mean? Like his losses were quite. And let's not even obviously the wins. He's beating Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Darush. You know what I mean? Like he has a lot of quality wins, man. A lot of
Hmm.
quality wins.
And really, since his first title run, like it's almost like we're seeing a different Charles, because he was almost a 500 fighter for a while there. You know what I mean? Where it was like he'd win one, lose one, win two, lose one, like, And then once he won the title the first time, it's like I think he really elevated into a different fighter, and that's the
Mhm.
fighter that we've seen now. It's like he's has no problem in there with elite competition, and he fights to the level of. I think that is the best way to describe Charles, is he fights to the level of his competition. Other
Mhm.
than the Islam fight, because he got caught early in the Islam fight, and he got arm triangled because he was dazed. Islam caught him with a good punch, but like he fights to the level of his competition. So I expect you'll get the best out of Charles against Ilya. How do you? So if you're picking that fight, who are you guys picking in that fight?
Whew.
Fuck it. I'm gonna go out on the limb and I'm gonna take Ilya just for the punching power of it. That I think if he can get this to be, we'll even say a fucking 60-40 split between staying on your feet and the ground. I think he gets it. But if that number starts to tip the other fucking way, his chances of winning that, I think, go down. Now, I'm a major fan of Charles Oliveira too, and I do really like the guy, but Ilya brings out the almost that boxing fan in me from it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, bro. In
Isn't
regards to
Charles
that
a
fight, I
two-time
hate.
champ? Is Charles a
Um,
two-time champ at 55?
Hold on, let me check and see.
Go
no,
ahead, Nick.
he won
While
it.
he's
He
looking at
won
it.
it from Chandler, if I'm not mistaken, and then he. I think he had a second opportunity, right or no? But in regards to the fight, I hate for the cop out answer, bro. I got to see how the first round goes. Then I'll know who I think is gonna win the fight. But as of right now, I'd lean toward Ilya, but I wouldn't be surprised if Charles won the fight at all.
See what I'm saying? I'm in the same boat as you, man. I'm not going to pick that fight because
I can't right
to
now.
me it's just too
I got to
hard,
watch
dude.
the first round. I got to see how the first round goes.
Yeah, it's as much as I want to lean toward Ilya with his punching power. Charles, when it comes to the jiu-jitsu, Charles is just different, dude. And I just feel like there's going to be some openings for Charles to jump on his back. Like whether
It's
he is able to take advantage of them or not, I don't know. But I just feel like there's going to be some openings.
it's the
And
same reason why like O'Malley was the bigger guy to Marab, but what happened was Marab was able to dominate him on the ground, and Marab's the smaller guy. Now Charles is the bigger guy in this case against Elia, so it's like it's
mhm,
real hard for me to gauge how this fight goes because Charles could easily just, if he closes the distance on him, he has the length and the size on him. He could, and Ely is not that polished on the ground. He's not that great. Definitely not on the level of Charles. Charles could,
mhm,
within taking you down within 5 seconds, you could be tapping from him
mhm,
taking you down. So it's like, uh, it's tough. Elia is gonna have Elia, in my opinion. If Elia wins, he has to knock out Charles.
mhm.
If I could look into a crystal ball right now and know that this match is going 5 rounds, I'm choosing Charles to win that fight. If it goes 5 rounds,
I don't think it's going 5 rounds though.
yeah,
I
I
think
don't
it's going
think
to be
so
over.
either.
I think it goes maximum three. Like it ends in the third round. I think like maximum. I think it could end before then.
I think Charles
We
is
could
gonna
see an
want to
early
extend this
knockout.
fight too. You know what I mean? He's gonna want to really test Elia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Push him
think
into those
about this.
later rounds. Really test his heart of a champion type. You know what I mean? Type thing.
But that means you got to stand with Ilya for that long, though, because otherwise you're going to have to take him down every round, and you're
Yep.
putting yourself in harm's way. And it's the thing where it's like it's the typical like boxer versus puncher, right? You can win the boxer versus puncher fight as the boxer, but you have to. Let's go to a boxing match, a 12-round fight. You have to be perfect for 12 rounds, you know. And so Charles is going to have to be perfect for 5 rounds, and I don't know if that's possible against a striker, especially with the accuracy, the punch accuracy that Ilya has. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him out of there in the first round. Like, I'm gonna jump on his back, and I'm gonna try to get him up against the cage and jump on his back. If I get caught coming in, hey, it is what it is. I'm not pushing for a 5-round fight, but that's me. I'm not Charles. I don't know his strategy. You might be right. Maybe he wants to take him into the deep water, and it would be smart because we don't know. Does Ilya's power carry over 5 rounds? I mean,
Exactly.
no puncher's power
What's his
really carries
conditioning
over 5
like?
whole rounds.
Exactly. What's his
Well,
conditioning like
yeah,
too?
it's like look at Tyson. How many 10th round knockouts does Mike Tyson have? Maybe a
Zero.
couple, but he has a whole lot more first round knockouts, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's the argument is like if Charles can, stay away for the first 2 rounds and tire him out a little bit, take a little bit off that punch, then now all of a sudden he's not knocking me out with a single shot. So I'm in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You bring up an interesting point, Nick. It's an interesting counterpoint to what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Real quick on the boxing thing,
We're almost
I
out
gotta
of
ask
time.
y'all. Yeah, I figured it was about to be over within 2-3 minutes. I was in the barbershop getting my hair cut yesterday, and we were talking boxing there. Prime Floyd Mayweather at we're talking 147. Prime Floyd Mayweather versus Prime Sugar Ray Leonard. Who y'all got? I take Ray Leonard. That's me. At 147. Prime versus Prime. Granted, there is no wrong answer, but for the health of the debate.
Now, when
I'm going.
when we're saying Prime Mayweather, are we talking before all the hand injuries?
Yes, his absolute peak.
I'm
Yep.
going Mayweather.
You going Mayweather?
Yeah, I'm going Mayweather. He's too smart. I don't think I think Leonard is the tougher fighter, but he's just not going to be able to get his hands on Mayweather because he's just gonna play defense, Philly shell, pot shot him, hit him with a jab, and then he's out. Now
Mm-hmm.
Leonard is fast too, but he's not Floyd fast. So I think it comes down to speed and finesse, and I just think Mayweather is a better finesse fighter. If Leonard could drag him into a dogfight, I like Leonard. I think he's much more capable of that. Even though he's a finesse fighter himself, he had power, and he wasn't afraid to mix it up. Like, I mean, he fought some really tough dudes like Hagler and Duran, guys who could punch, and
Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns, exactly. He had to
Yeah.
weather those storms, man. And I think he got knocked down against Hearns, didn't he? He had to get up off the canvas against Hearns.
Yep.
So
Talk about
uh,
a problem. 6'1", 6'1" guy fighting at 140. Bro, what? Come on, Tommy
yeah,
Hearns. That's not
and with
fair.
dynamite in his hands. If his chin was a little better, he could have gone down as the greatest. But we didn't get into Duplessis versus Hamzat. But if you're back next week, we can get into that one for
I'm
sure,
definitely,
man.
yeah, I'll be down, fellas, for sure.
Because
Appreciate y'all having
we've
me
been
on.
talking about that fight for the last year. Me and Ken have been talking about we want to see Hamzat and Duplessis.
That's gonna be
There's
a good
so much
fight.
to break down in that fight. Like,
Yeah, for
so many
sure.
possibilities.
Yep.
Hey, real quick before we go, Ken, what are the odds on the Topuria Charles fight?
Let me look real quick.
That Duplessis, and I think that's he's another underrated one, man. He's a hell of a fighter, Duplessis,
Hey, real
man.
quick before we go, Nick, we were talking about Juliana and Kayla. The
Uh-huh.
odds on that fight are extremely lopsided. I'm actually going out on a limb and picking Juliana just because I think
Isn't
she's
she
got
like
that
plus
dog in her.
550? Isn't she like plus 550 or something?
Yeah, but I think she's got that dog in her, and I think she's going to
Yeah.
outgrit Kayla. So what's your take on that fight? Who do you
I
got in that
absolutely
fight?
agree. She got that dog in her, and she could outgrit her. She could take her into the later rounds, and that could be one of those things. Weather the
Yeah,
storm the first couple rounds, and then pounce on her. I think she
yeah.
can get real nitty and gritty with her.
Go
I'm
ahead,
taking
Ken.
her too, bro. I might put a
Hey,
little
what's up?
$50 on that.
What's up? Unfortunately, we are just at the end of the show here. But if
Oh
you come
yeah.
on, if you come on next week, you're more than welcome to join us.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to say a quick thing. As a Packer fan, how do you feel about the NFL keeping the tush push? Because I know that's a controversial play.
Oh, I don't really care either way. But unfortunately, we have to sign off
Take
now.
care, fellas.
Yeah, we'll see you.